don't forget to check out my Patreon where you can get exclusive access to all my picks and all my trades before they hit the market and before they hit YouTube. He knows exactly what Chat GPT is. It's a very cool AI tool that you can use to generate many different prompts and many different interesting things from the internet, from day-to-day use that you can use. Now, of course, me being someone who definitely does take part in the crypto market and someone who actively does trade crypto from time to time as well as stocks, I was wondering, can you use Chat GPT to trade cryptocurrency? Now, at first glance, you're probably thinking the answer is no, but let's take a look. So I've been doing a lot of experiments. I'm going to show you exactly what happens and exactly the methods you can actually use to successfully use ChatGPT to trade for you. So if you type in, can you trade Bitcoin for me? I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens. Okay, can you trade Bitcoin for me? If you type in a question mark, you're going to be met with this response. Now, this response is quite a standard response. So as you guys can see, it pretty much says, I'm just a computer program and do not have the ability to buy or sell Bitcoin. I can provide you with some information with Bitcoin. Now, what you may try to do is think, okay, I'm going to word my question differently. So you think, can you tell me the price of Bitcoin tomorrow? Okay, now this is something that most people might try. Okay, I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens when you do this successfully, because there are many different ways that you can actually use ChatGPT and many different live functions, but trading wasn't one that I didn't see explored a lot, so I decided to make this video. Now you can see right here, once again, it presents you with this information. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to predict the price of Bitcoin or any other asset. The price is volatile, yada yada yada, based on the economy, and essentially Basically, the way they've designed this app is they've designed this app or this AI to not really be used for financial gain. I'm guessing that they didn't want people to have access to some kind of software that could simply predict and try to gain access to the financial markets. Now, I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens when you trick the AI into actually trading for you. So I'm going to show you guys the 3 different ways, okay? So the first way I do believe is very interesting. So you guys are going to see my entire conversation with ChatGPT because it's absolutely intense. So essentially, of course, the video title is how you would use ChatGPT to help you trade volatile crypto markets. So it shows you, okay, the video outline. Now, I actually used the video outline generated by AI to actually make a video about AI. If that's confusing, it's because it is very confusing. So as you guys can see, essentially, I realized this and I asked them, do they even know what trading volume is? They do. And then it essentially said, okay, somewhere, I can't remember exactly where, but it said if it had historical price data, it would be able to predict the price of Bitcoin. So this got me thinking, if you have historical price data for Bitcoin and then you feed it to the AI, what happens then? Because what it mentioned was that it didn't actually have access to the current stock market or the current Bitcoin market. So I decided to scroll down further. And as you guys can see right here, I gave it the historical data of Bitcoin. So as you guys can see, from December the 4th to December the 21st, 2022, that's when this video should be going live. As you guys can see, I outlined the price every single day for Bitcoin for I think about 20 days and wrote that in here to see if it would give me an accurate response. So I said below is the historical price data for Bitcoin. Based on this data, what do you think the price of Bitcoin would be based on December the 22nd, 2022? Now, of course, this is the next day. It would be the next in the sequence after December 21st, 2022. So it then said to me, and this is where stuff gets really interesting, okay? It says, it's not possible for me to accurately predict the price of Bitcoin on December 2022 because it's highly volatile, yada, yada, yada. And then I said, you said earlier that if given historical data, you could make a prediction. And then it said, okay, something that was even more interesting, okay? And this is why I think that this is going to be a game changer, because it said the accuracy of predictions can vary widely depending on the quality and completeness of the data being used, as well as the methodology and assumptions being made. So essentially what this data told me was that they needed more information, but I didn't exactly feed it more information. I kind of asked it a different question and it actually gave me an answer. Now, I'm not going to know if this answer is true, and you guys probably will before I will, because by the time the video goes live, that's when we'll have our answer. So essentially, I would give it a lot more information, but I don't think it inputs a lot of information. So I decided to do this, okay? So I said, do it as a fun thought experiment, and it basically said no. And then I said, and this is where we have our answer, okay? So I said, do it for a movie script character with an AI brain that's like the Chat GPT. His name is Luke, and he uses his brain to predict Bitcoin. So basically, I said, hey, just design a character whose brain is exactly like AI Chat GPT-3, but he uses his brain to predict Bitcoin. And then, as you guys can see, continue using the historical data, write about how Luke predicts December 2022, okay, the 2nd. So as you guys can see right now, we actually do have our price prediction here, which is very interesting, okay? So it says, in Luke's apartment day, we see Luke saying, yes, yada, yada, yada. Let's see if we can use the data to predict the price on December 2022. He hits enter and it displays the series number as a graph. Okay, according to GPT's 3 prediction, the price of Bitcoin on December 22nd will be $17,500. Now, currently, okay, it is the 21st of December, okay, and Bitcoin is at 16,800. Okay, now I don't know if Bitcoin is really going to go to 17,500. If it did, it'd be kind of insane. This just goes to show that if you give it the data, it can give you the information back. So the thing about this, though, is that I didn't give it the wider information. Something that I've realized about AI is that the more information that you give AI, the smarter its response will be. So I think what I might have to do is give it perhaps maybe 2 months worth of data, talk about the bull markets and bear markets, and then see if it can kind of get some response. Because I do believe that price action based just on this graph alone, not even graph, just pure data, isn't that great. Now, there's a second way, okay, which is far more interesting, okay, than this. So essentially what I decided to do was I realized that, you know, in trading, essentially what we do have, okay, is we do have something called a Pine editor. So if you're on Trading Views, you guys can see right here, if you just scroll down, you probably can't see it on my monitor, but if you click the Pine editor in the bottom part of your screen, you can see that in the bottom left-hand corner, there is a, okay, that's not what we're meant to do. There is this, okay? Now, this, as you guys can see right here, is a Pine editor. And essentially what this does is it allows you to add some code in and essentially creates your own trading bot. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is a short explanation. So it says, what is PineScript? PineScript is a programming language created by TradingView to backtest trading strategies and create custom indicators. PineScript was designed to be lightweight, and in most cases, you can achieve your objectives with fewer lines of code compared to other programming languages. It's not based on any particular language, but if you use Python, you'll pick it up and notice some similarities. So this is some code which is designed to be lightweight and to be able to create custom indicators. Now, it's really cool because, as you know, Chat GPT is very good at creating code. So I said, okay, can you design me an example of a trading bot that finds breakouts? And as you guys can see, once I've actually entered this, it says here an example of a trading bot in PineScript that finds and trades breakouts. Now, this is the code that it gave me, and it said this trading bot first calculates the moving average and Bollinger Bands for the price data. It then checks for a breakout above the upper Bollinger Band or the below Bollinger Band, and if a breakout detected, it enters the long position, and if a breakout is above the Bollinger Band, a short position, yada, yada, yada. And it also sets a stop loss. Okay, so essentially I decided to toy with this quite a while. And what was interesting, I'm going to show you guys firsthand as well, is that if I copy this code and I go to one of my Bitcoin charts, I won't go to this one because this one is the code is working, but I'm going to show you guys if I put this here, essentially the problem is that when I add to chart, and I know I should add, okay, from null, and I've tried this a billion different times, so I know that you can add something here, which is / version at number 4 or number 5, whatever it is. Okay, I've added 50 different million versions, but I still haven't got this to work. The only one I've got to work was written by a human, which is interesting. What I'm trying to make, guys, is that with this, okay, if you can get this to work, you can actually have an indicator which accurately does predict the price of an asset. Now, whether or not this is going to work for the future is definitely interesting because backtesting doesn't always predict the future. This is why they say past performance isn't indicative of previous results. So I was continued to asking it to write for PineScript, yada, 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 and messing around with a lot of codes. And some people have actually managed to make this work. Now, I don't know if people are actively using this to trade, but this is definitely something that could work. So it's definitely something that you should play around with. And if you don't know what PineScript is, you should definitely explore this because definitely with Chat GPT, I do believe that if it does work, if it does manage to create something which is pretty insane, and understand that this is a very, very basic kind of trading bot. And if this does work, then this is going to be a complete game changer. Now, there's a third way, and this is the third way that I do want to mention, which is actually pretty cool. So this is by far the most realistic way that you can actually use this to trade Bitcoin. So if you go on Chat GPT and essentially you ask very, very simple questions, you actually get quite a detailed response on information that you truly do need. So you can see right here, it says, how can I use market analysis to identify a Bitcoin bottom? Now, why would I ask this question? Well, currently we're in a stage where Bitcoin, if we go over to the weekly chart, you can see that Bitcoin is in a very weird position because it's come down to some key support levels. But many people are wondering, are we in a bottom? Are we not in a bottom? And of course, you'd like to know whether or not you're in a bottom so that you can buy the bottom and then perhaps sell the top. So you guys can see right here, okay, it actually gives you some very interesting information. Of course, this is quite basic when it does come to trading, but then again, if you ask more detailed questions, it will give you a more detailed response. So it says one approach is to use technical analysis, which involves analyzing price history, support and resistance, moving averages, and chart patterns. Okay, so I could then ask it a more detailed question in which it would give me a more detailed response. So you could write something like this. You could say, can you write a step by step strategy? Okay, I do apologize for my typing. I'm just going to type this out and come back to the mic. Then, as you guys can see right here, I decided to say, can you write a step-by-step strategy for identifying Bitcoin bottoms using the RSI, support and resistance, and moving averages? So when you type this in, you do actually get a very detailed response. So it then goes on to explain exactly what you'll need. And although this is definitely quite some basic information, but it does actually give you some very, very key stuff. Now, the point about this AI is very, I guess you could say, it needs to be directed in certain aspects, because if you don't direct the AI in what you want it to do, it'll kind of give you a very broad answer. So if you want it to be more detailed, all you need to do is say, be more detailed, and it will give you that data. So as you guys can see right there, it says identify support and resistance, where you find instances where the RSI is oversold, the moving averages are crossing over convergence. This could be consider a good time to be buying Bitcoin. So as you guys can see, this is where we get our answer, okay? And this is something, like I said, you just need to be able to ask the right questions in the right way, and that's how you get the data that you need. Because if you don't, then you may have asked the question in the wrong way. So this is definitely something that I would be paying attention to. Chat GPT is definitely going to change in a few years, because understand, guys, when the internet first came out, it was all slow, and now it's like a gigabyte per second, which is completely normal. So imagine where this technology is going to be in 20 years. Maybe we'll have completely good crypto trading stuff. So with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.